Bhavish Aggarwal tweeted the following this week. 1 in every 2 two-wheeler EVs registered in India is now an Ola S1. And this is a bit of a juxtaposition against the state of the two-wheeler EV market in India right now, because it's actually down by 50% month on month. And this is because FY24 is officially over now, meaning that FAME 2 is over as well. And the numbers are finally in for the first month of FY25, and things are not looking good. Ather saw a 76.58% decline in registrations, Hero 76.79%. I mean, it's a bloodbath out there. And even Ola Electric themselves saw a 34.86% decline in registrations, although they're pretty well positioned because March was their best month ever. They saw more than 50,000 registrations, so a 34.86% decline isn't that bad considering market conditions right now. And this is also keeping in mind the fact that they cut the prices of their S1X range last month too. Now, the next natural question that you might be asking here is what comes after FAME 2? And I wish that I could say FAME 3, but it's actually the Electric Mobility Promotion Scheme 2024, which is in effect from only April to July end and lays out just 500 crore rupees in incentives. And this just really pales in comparison to the 10,000 crore rupees that was the original FAME 2 outlay, and that was later increased from 2022 to 2024 and from 10,000 crore rupees to 11,500 crore rupees. But anyways, let's move on to the next news item here, because Zomato has gotten the final approval that they need to liquidate their Indonesia subsidiary. And I actually had no idea that they were even present in Indonesia, but apparently they entered that market in 2013 and really struggled to make any progress. That being said though, they were up against Gojek's food delivery service GoFood, which is Indonesian, and then also Grab's food delivery service GrabFood, which is Singaporean. And then by 2020, with the pandemic making it really challenging to operate in markets like Indonesia, which had very strong competitors, Zomato ended up laying off all of their Indonesian employees, and the company has basically been non-operational ever since. And this is actually part of a larger trend that we've seen for Zomato since the pandemic, where they went from being a global Indian business to just an Indian business. The list of countries where Zomato used to be operational but no longer are includes Slovakia, the United States, the UK, Ireland, New Zealand, Canada, Australia, Jordan, and Qatar. And then in January of 2024, they started the process of dissolving Gastronoci, which was their business in Poland. And then in February of 2024, they liquidated their business in Vietnam and the Czech Republic too. And I don't know, I find this disappointing as someone who really wishes that there were more Indian companies on the global stage, but I also understand that this is probably a sigh of relief for shareholders who just want Zomato to shed any and all loss-making subsidiaries. Now, continuing to talk about Zomato here, but changing the focus over to actually one of their subsidiaries, Blinkit is now more valuable than Zomato, at least according to Goldman Sachs. How do we know this? Well, Blinkit is actually valued at 119 rupees per share, while Zomato is sitting at 98 rupees per share. And this likely isn't going to be changing anytime soon either. In fact, the gulf might actually widen in the future, with Goldman projecting that Blinkit's gross order value will grow at a CAGR of 53% between now and FY27, while Zomato's food delivery business will grow at a CAGR of just 20%. All right, next up in the news, drone soccer has arrived in India as of this week, and I'm willing to bet that you haven't heard of drone soccer. I definitely hadn't, so here's a basic summary. So like Quidditch from Harry Potter, or also the ancient Maya game Pokatok, the goal of this game is to get a ball through a vertical hoop, but in drone soccer, the ball is actually a drone. This sport is being brought to India via Drone Destination, a drone pilot training and drone as a service company that was founded in 2019, and they actually went public on the National Stock Exchange in 2023. Now, I do think that this is probably just a little bit of PR for Drone Destination, honestly, and it's hard to say if anyone's actually going to take this sport seriously in India, but Drone Destination is introducing this sport in India in collaboration with the Federation of International Drone Soccer Associations, which oversees the promotion and regulation of the sport in more than 20 countries. All right, next up in the news, Freshworks has a new CEO. So Girish Mathrubootham has stepped down from his role as CEO and into an executive chairman role, while Dennis Woodside, who was Freshworks president and has been with Freshworks for 2 years, is the new CEO. Now, Dennis is a career executive. He previously worked as the president of Impossible Foods, the COO of Dropbox, and before that, a senior executive at Google. And when this change in command was announced, Freshworks shares on the NASDAQ fell 25% in the aftermarket from $18.5 a share to below $14 a share at the time of me recording this video. All right, now let's move into the funding news segment for today's video. So this week, Indian startups raised a total of $343 million, and this is actually the second best week of this financial year so far. So the leader this week when it came to raising funds was PharmEasy. They raised $216 million at a 90% valuation cut in the lead up to their IPO. Then we also have Gurugram-based Licecraft raising $26 million in their seed round. This is an omni-channel fashion startup founded by one of Zomato's co-founders, Mohit Gupta, and Myntra and Colfit's co-founder, Mukesh Bansal. Then we've got Portia Medical, a home healthcare company. They raised $20 million in their Series E. They're based in Bengaluru. And then after that, we have ChargeZone raising $19 million in their Series B. This is an EV charging infrastructure provider based in Vadodara. I also want to highlight Nico Robotics, an AI agri-tech startup based in Bengaluru that raised $9 million in their Series B round to help farmers spray their crops more efficiently. And then finally, the last one that I want to touch on here is Go Desi, a startup offering packaged Indian treats and sweets, and they raised $4.9 million in a bridge round. Now, before I let you guys go, our top 10 Haryana startups video is suffering. Nobody is watching this video, so if that sounds interesting to you, please go check it out. And thanks so much for watching this news video, and I'll catch you in the next one.